What if I told you that your brain isn't tired because you've been doing too much, but because you've been doing too little of what actually matters? Stay with me here, because this might be the most important thing you hear today. Okay, the hidden exhaustion, you know that feeling, right? That weird kind of exhaustion where you didn't even accomplish anything meaningful, but your soul still feels absolutely wrecked. It's like you just ran a marathon inside your own head, but your feet never moved. You're physically fine, but mentally, you're running on empty. This isn't laziness. This isn't even burnout in the traditional sense. This is your brain desperately begging you to stop feeding it junk and calling it fuel. And here's the scary part. It's completely invisible. You can't see how exhausted your mind has become when you're constantly distracted. You don't realize how far you've fallen until silence starts to feel violent. Hockey, the silence test? Try this right now if you dare. Put your phone down. Turn off the music. Stop scrolling. Just sit in complete quiet for 60 seconds. Feels like you're being attacked by your own thoughts, doesn't it? Because when you finally hit pause, all the stuff you've been running from shows up at your door like an unwelcome visitor. The guilt, the regret, the nagging voice asking, what if I'm not enough? Why do I feel like I'm falling behind everyone else? And what do? We reach for the next hit. Scroll, snack, sip, swipe, anything but face ourselves. Pake the dopamine prison look. I'm not here to judge you. I've been trapped in the same dopamine prison. Picture this. You wake up, and before your feet even hit the floor, you're reaching for your phone. The notifications are already telling you what kind of day you're supposed to have. You're not living your life. You're reacting to it. Like a dog chasing laser dots on the wall, thinking that someday, somehow, you'll finally catch one. You're not present in your own life. You're possessed by it. But here's what nobody wants to admit out loud. You can't think your way out of this trap. You can't read another productivity article and magically become whole again. This isn't a time management problem. It's not even a willpower problem. This is an identity crisis. You've forgotten who you are underneath all the noise. Joaquin, the real problem, I get it, the world is incredibly loud. Comfort is cheap and easy to find. Distraction is literally a drug they hand out for free on every corner, every app, every notification. But the price? The price is your mind itself. Slowly, silently, you lose your edge. You stop chasing excellence and start chasing ease. You stop building and start browsing. You stop living and start watching other people live. Think about it. When was the last time you created something instead of consuming something? When did you last solve a real problem instead of scrolling through fake ones? Wi-Fi. The solution? Joe's 5-minute reset. So how do you fix a brain that's been completely hijacked? How do you find silence without running away to some cabin in the woods and growing your own kale? This is where Joe's trick comes in. And before you roll your eyes, hear me out. 5 minutes. That's it. Not some complicated productivity hack or cute wellness trend. This is a 5-minute war against the version of yourself that's addicted to running away. Here's exactly what you do. Find a spot on the floor. Sit down. Close your eyes. Keep your back straight. Breathe in. Breathe out. No phone, no talking, no tasks, no music. Just you and 5 minutes of raw, unfiltered existence. Park the battle within, and that's when the real battle starts. Your mind will scream at you. It'll say, "This is stupid. You're wasting time. You could be checking your messages right now. There's probably something important happening." But if you stay, if you wait, if you breathe and refuse to flinch, something incredible happens. Something cracks open. A silence emerges. Not the quiet of an empty room, but the quiet of a sword being drawn from its sheath. Sharp, purposeful, ready. That's you. That's your mind remembering how to reset itself. Farfi, the transformation process, the first time, it's going to suck. The second time might be even worse. Your brain will throw everything it has at you: anxiety, boredom, random memories, your grocery list, that embarrassing thing you did in 7th grade. But after about a week of daily practice, something shifts. You start to feel actual space between you and the panic. You notice your thoughts before they hijack you completely. You remember that the noise isn't who you are, it's just background static. And slowly, you start making decisions from clarity instead of chaos, from power instead of panic, from purpose instead of pressure. Papi, why small wins big? This sounds almost too simple, right? 5 minutes. That's nothing. But don't mistake small for weak. A 5-minute silence practiced daily is infinitely stronger than a 10-hour productivity binge powered by shame and caffeine. You want to know why this works when everything else fails? Because it rewires your default settings. Most people don't really have bad habits, they have terrible defaults. Their default response to discomfort is to grab their phone. Their default response to anxiety is to scroll away from it. Their default response to any difficult emotion is to eat it, avoid it, or run from it. And until you change your default operating system, nothing else changes. Doesn't matter how many to-do lists you write or self-help books you read. If your mental operating system runs on chaos, everything you try to build will eventually crash. 5A creating space to choose. Joe's 5-minute reset isn't about doing more stuff. It's about creating space to choose how you respond instead of just reacting like a programmed machine. Space to hear your intuition before anxiety drowns it out. Space to break the endless loop that's been running your life. You know the loop I'm talking about, right? Wake up already exhausted. Scroll until your brain goes numb. Work from a place of guilt instead of inspiration. Get distracted. Feel terrible about it. Try to fix it by working even harder. Burn out. Repeat tomorrow. And between all of this chaos, you tell yourself stories. I just need to get more organized. I just need to push through this phase. I'll rest when I've earned it. Or feed the fear behind the hustle. But here's the brutal truth you're terrified of stopping. Because if you pause for even a second, you'll have to face that voice in your head asking, what if I'm not enough without all this constant hustle? Let me tell you something that might change your life. That voice is a liar. And the only way to defeat it is to sit with it. Not run from it. Not numb it. Sit with it and let it exhaust itself. Fafe Joe's story, Joe wasn't always like this. He used to be trapped in the same loop as everyone else. Always busy. Always tired. Always on. He had alarms for productivity, apps for optimization, habits stacked like a house of cards until the whole thing collapsed. One random Tuesday, sitting at his desk, he felt like he couldn't breathe. His brain felt like it was on fire and frozen at the same time. So he did something radical. He shut everything off, threw his phone across the room, and sat on the floor. No timer, no plan, no technique. He just sat. 5 minutes later, nothing magical happened. But the panic slowed down just enough for him to breathe. That was enough. He did it again the next day. Then again. And somewhere between all those minutes of silence, he stopped reacting to life and started responding to it. That's when everything changed. Not overnight, but slowly and deliberately, like fog lifting at sunrise. Kaki, your turn now, it's your turn. Not next week when you have more time. Not after you finish your current project. Today. Before you go to bed tonight, find that spot on the floor. Sit down. Close your eyes. Breathe. For 5 minutes, you don't run. You don't fix anything. You don't scroll. You don't do. You simply be. The first minute will feel like fire. The second like radio static. The third like mind-numbing boredom. But the fourth and fifth minutes, that's where the magic lives. That's where your mind starts to clear. That's where you meet the part of yourself that doesn't need constant validation, doesn't need noise, doesn't need approval from anyone. Just presence, just peace, just raw, unshakable power. The point of no return, and once you taste that, really taste it, there's no going back. You won't crave the noise the same way anymore. You won't fear your own thoughts. You won't need the constant escape routes. You'll still use your phone. You'll still chase goals and handle life's demands. But you'll do it all from a center that can't be shaken by every little distraction or setback. And that changes absolutely everything. The choice. So here's the question that will determine your next chapter. What's 5 minutes of discomfort worth to you? Is it worth getting clarity back? Is it worth finding peace in a chaotic world? Is it worth reclaiming your own mind? Or are you going to keep trading your attention for tiny dopamine hits while your real life slips through your fingers like sand? Because let me be crystal clear about something: this world will not give you peace. It will sell you coping mechanisms. It will distract you into submission. It will keep you chasing productivity as a way to avoid finding real meaning. But peace, that's something you have to take. That's something you carve out of the noise with your bare hands, 5 minutes at a time, every single day. Kwafe the warrior's path, no excuses, no fancy apps, no complicated techniques. Just you and the silence. That's where warriors are forged. That's where kings remember their crown. That's where you become dangerous again, dangerous to mediocrity, dangerous to distraction, dangerous to anything that wants to steal your focus. So go sit on that floor. Close your eyes and meet yourself. Not the version you pretend to be on social media. Not the version you think you should be. The real you, the one who's been waiting patiently for you to stop running. Waiting in the quiet. Waiting in the stillness. Waiting to help you take your life back. And when you finally stand up after those 5 minutes, you'll feel it. A calm you forgot you even missed. A strength you didn't realize you'd lost. A version of yourself that doesn't flinch at challenges, doesn't beg for validation, doesn't break under pressure. That version, that's the real you. And once you find them again, there's no turning back. 5 minutes. Nothing more, nothing less. You won't need motivation. You won't need tricks or hacks. You'll just need the courage to sit in silence with yourself. That's Joe's trick. That's your reset. That's how you get your life back, one breath at a time.